Now in this lesson we're going to have an introduction to decimals. Let's look at some examples where I need to write the following as decimals. Firstly, 9/10ths. Now 9/10ths is 0.9. 37 on 100 can be written as 0.37. 348 over 1000 will be 0.348. Now let's go through these three and work out how we arrived at each. 9/10ths. Now because it is over 10, we are just looking at one decimal place. Alright, that'll be one decimal place. When it's over 10, we have one decimal place. The next one, 37 over 100. Well, when it's over 100, notice that there are two decimal places. The next one, 348 over 1000. When it's over 1000, there are three decimal places. So it's over 10, one decimal place. Over 100, there's two decimal places. Over 1000, there are three decimal places, and that pattern would continue. What about 7 over 100? Well, it's over 100, so we know that there are going to be two decimal places. So we put the 0 point, and then there'll be two spaces, two places, two decimal places there. Now we need to put 7 there, but where do we put it? Well, we need to write it as 07. Okay, we need to put the 7 there, but it requires the two decimal places, so we have to write that as 07. So our answer there is 0.07. The next one, 2 and 13 thousandths. Well, the 2 is a whole number this time, so we write the 2 down, and then the point. And because it's over 1000, there are three decimal places. So we'll put the 3 down, and we need to write 13 somewhere there. Okay, now we need to write the 13 as 013. So our answer there is 2.013. Question 6, 1/5. Well, notice that all the ones we've done so far have been dealing with tenths, or hundredths, or thousandths. Now we've got 1/5. Can we change that to either tenths, hundredths, or thousandths? Well, we can change the fifths to tenths. Now to do that we need to multiply by 2. So to change the fifths to tenths, we times by 2. So do the same to the top. And on the top then, 1 times 2 is 2. So we have 2 tenths, and we can write that as 0.2. Okay, the reason we could write that is because it was over 10, so it was one decimal place. Now 9/20ths. 9/20ths. Well, again, can we change the 20 to something over either 10 or 100? This time 100. How do we change 20 to 100? We times by 5. So we need to do the same to the top. And 9 times 5 is 45. So we have 45 over 100. We can write that as 0.45, realizing that because it's over 100, we have two decimal places. Terrific. Now, to remember before we go on, to remember 1/2. Alright, some common fractions it's good just to commit to memory. 1/2 is 0.5. 1/4 is 0.25. Okay, these are fractions that come up a lot. 3/4, 0.75. So if we can remember those three fractions, that's terrific. Moving on now. We're asked to write the following as fractions in simplest form. 0.7. Well, because it's one decimal place, we're going to write it over 10, and we have 7, so it's 7/10ths. Now we can't break that down any further, so that's our answer. 0.23. Well, there are two decimal places, so it will be over 100. And we have 23. 23 over 100. 0.037. Well, in this case, there are 3 decimal places, so we put it over 1000. And we have 37 over 1000. 0.8. Well, there's 1 decimal place, so we're going to put it over 10, and this time we have 8. So 8/10ths, but can we break that down? Well, we can. We need to write it in simplest form. We can do so by dividing both top and bottom by 2. So on the top, 8 divided by 2 is 4, and 10 divided by 2 equals 5. So in simplest form, our answer is 4/5. Now what about 0.16? Well, 16 is 2 decimal places there, so we put it over 100, and we have 16 on 100. But again, can we break that down? Can we break it down into simplest form? We can. If we look at 16 and 100, we can divide both by 4. So on the top, 16 divided by 4 is 4, and 100 divided by 4 is 25. Terrific. Well, that concludes our lesson. Good luck with your questions.